What's up? We are back again. We are getting so close to the full list. We are here with my top 16 of 2016. A good year, not a great year. I don't have any albums that I found completely perfect. A lot of really good albums. We're just going to jump right into it, starting with number 16, Domo Genesis with Genesis. Domo Genesis is another one of those rappers from Odd Future that I've been into since I was a teenager. This is his debut album on Odd Future Records back in 2016. Obviously, it's pretty good. I really do enjoy this album. It's not my favorite thing he's ever done. He had a really good mixtape he did with Alchemist, producing all of them. And he had this song called Elimination Chamber with Action Bronson and Earl Sweatshirt, and that mixtape is fantastic. That's probably my favorite Domo project. This is pretty close to the top. Very well thought out album, very well put together. All the songs don't quite make sense together, and some of the beats get a little drab, but it is a fantastic record. Number 15, YG with Still Brazy. YG is another one of those rappers that I guess is considered a trap rapper, but what he's saying actually has content, and so I enjoy listening to him. I was a big fan of My Crazy Life, his debut album. It didn't make my list because it wasn't quite good enough to make it there, and I think the year it came out, it was just full of fantastic records. This is a very good album. A lot of good songs, a lot of good features. I really like the song FDT, which stands for Fuck Donald Trump. I'm not political. It has nothing to do with the message. I just like how the beat hits. I like the chorus, and I like Nipsey Hussle's feature. Rest in peace. Really good album. Number 15, YG, Still Brazy. Number 14, back to Red Pill. This is Instinctive Drowning. You probably know Red Pill from my 2015 list. He made the top of it. This is not as good. Very good record. Very, very good concept. My problem is half the songs are good. Half the songs are shitty. And there's probably two songs that are fantastic. Those being Instinctive Drowning and probably Fuck Your Ambition, which has a POS feature on it. It's not fantastic. It's a good record. It's worth a listen. My buddy always calls it how many times you can listen to it. It doesn't have that repetition quality. Do you want to go back to it? This doesn't. You listen to it once, you've essentially got it. Those couple songs are worth listening to repeatedly. So that was number 14, Red Pill with Instinctive Drowning. Number 13 is Mac Miller with The Divine Feminine. This is the first Mac Miller record where he really just stays away from rap. It's basically just R&B. A lot of singing. The beats are still fantastic. It has an amazing Anderson .Paak, I think. Has an amazing Anderson .Paak feature on it. On the song. Dang. Fantastic. Rest in peace, Mac. Still one of the greatest musicians in my eyes. Dude could, not a lot of people can make watching movies with the sound off and then 2 albums later make, by my standards, a fantastic R&B record in The Divine Feminine. It is a really good album. Now that he's passed, there's a lot of emotion to it. A lot of people say the album is about Ariana Grande, which is a relationship that ended right before he passed, or at some point before he passed. Oh, I don't know how recent it was. Worth a listen. Check it out. Number 12, we've got Vinnie Paz, the cornerstone of the corner store. I've talked about Vinnie Paz. His album God of the Serengeti hit pretty high on, I believe, my 2012 list. This is also a fantastic album. Some great features, some great songwriting. Vinnie Paz is one of those lyricists where he doesn't need to have a concept for an album. What he says is so interesting that it's hard to not pay attention to it. Fantastic. Go check it out. Vinnie Paz, the cornerstone of the corner store. Number 11, we go to Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, This Unruly Mess I Made. This is their debut album together, or their sophomore album together, after The Heist, which won a Grammy and stole it away from Kendrick. I don't like this as much as I liked The Heist. The Heist was very honest. It felt like what he was saying was really important and that you needed to pay attention. This doesn't seem as important. A couple more songs that are kind of in between where I would like him to be. Still a good album. Light Tunnels. Brad Pitt's cousin is hilarious. Growing Up, which is this beautiful song dedicated to his daughter. White Privilege 2, which is just a song about what the title is. Good record. Whoa, that was the book. Hold on a second. Good record. Not as good as The Heist. Still a decent album. Worth a listen. Go check it out. Macklemore and Ryan Lewis, This Unruly Mess I've Made. And we're into my top 10. Like I said, we're going to start flowing through these lists because there's a lot to get to. Number 10 is Kendrick Lamar, Untitled, Unmastered. It's essentially a B-side, EP, mini album, whatever, from his To Pimp a Butterfly album. And it is fantastic. Very good album. Anthony Fantano said it really well. He said, Kendrick Lamar is one of those few artists that can release an album of B-sides and make it better than every other hip-hop album of the year. I don't completely agree with that, but this does have some really good material on it. Very funky, very jazz aesthetic. A lot of good bars. I am a fan of this. Check it out. Kendrick Lamar, Untitled, Unmastered at number 10. Number 9, another artist who was kind of big in the hip-hop community. Quite a few people knew about him. He's an actor as well. And then he just kind of switched and came out with an R&B album all of a sudden out of nowhere and blew up and everybody loves it. That is Childish Gambino with Awaken My Love. A R&B album about zombies, basically. So good. Hard not to put this on the list for 2016. It's got a lot of really, really, really well thought out songs. If you follow the whole plot of the album, it's fantastic. Great idea, great concept. I love that album cover. It's just so good. Check it out. Childish Gambino, Awaken My Love at number 9. And if you haven't, go find Childish Gambino, Make It in the USA or Make It in America. Made in America. It's a music video. I don't know what he's fucking planning on doing with it. It's a fantastic music video. There's tons of meanings. Everything gets broken down in other videos. It's a fantastic little song there. Number 8, Flatbush Zombies with 3001, A Laced Odyssey. Flatbush Zombies are a hip-hop trio from Flatbush, New York, consisting of Michi Darko and Eric the Architect and something Juice. I'm not going to remember. This is their debut full-length album, released on their own label, Glorious Dead Recordings. I've been following Flatbush for a few years. I really like their song Miraz and Thug Waffle. Thug Waffle being off of their very first mixtape. They're worth a listen to. Definitely not something that you can sit down and be serious and actually get into the emotions of the album. That doesn't really exist here. It is a fun listen. They're funny, and they're good rappers. They honestly remind me a lot of like Wu-Tang, just by the way they rap. They don't take themselves that seriously. They really just let you know that they're there. Good album. Flatbush Zombies, 3001, A Laced Odyssey at number 8. Number 7. This is actually a dude that I've backtracked on. I didn't know about him until about 2018, a couple years ago. When I found out about him, I went and got all of his discography. Every album. As many as I could. And this one surprised me. I didn't think I'd like it that much. Talking about Denzel Curry with Imperial. Denzel Curry is a rapper from Florida. Trap rapper. I'm not normally into trap, but this dude does not just do trap. He spits. He has got a lot of shit to say. The album, his sophomore album, Taboo, was fucking phenomenal in 2018. Went back and found this, and I loved it. Definitely worth a listen. You've probably heard this dude. If you go type in Denzel Curry Ultimate, as soon as you hear him rapping, you're going to know exactly what it is. I am the one, the gun. That song, fantastic. Good rapper, really good album. Check this out. Denzel Curry-Imperial. Doesn't bump quite as hard as you would expect a trap album to. There's definitely a couple songs that are bangers, but there's also a couple songs that are a little more easy listening, I guess you would say. Number 6. This fucking album came out of nowhere. I did not expect it to be that good. This dude signed. As soon as I heard his first single he released with the label, I was stoked. I did not expect this album to be that good, though. It was released on Top Dog Entertainment. Number 6 is Isaiah Rashad with The Sun's Tirade. This dude is so fucking good. And nobody fucking knows about him. And it's pretty sad because he can rap. He picks really good beats. There's rappers that don't know what type of beat they need to go on top of. This dude does not have that issue. He finds the perfect beat to fit his voice. His flow always goes consistently on top of the beat. And he does not get boring. He keeps it interesting. He's one of those rappers that you kind of need to go and listen and find out what he's saying because his accent is just on the other side of comprehensible in some cases. But his lyrical aesthetic is also so good that you want to go research to go to the next level and find out what he's trying to say to you. This is a really good album. Please check this out. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. Especially if you like Top Dog and you haven't listened to this. Isaiah Rashad, The Sun's Tirade at number 6. My top 5. My top 5 are very good albums, and I'm very confident in them. There are a couple that I need to re-listen to just to make sure my evaluation is correct. So if I ever do like an update, these may change, but this is my list right now. Number 5, another top dog artist, Schoolboy Q with Blank Face LP. Schoolboy's from Cali. He did his Oxymoron album as his debut album. This is his sophomore commercial release. Because technically, Setbacks, Habits, and Contradictions are his first 2 albums, which would make Oxymoron his 3rd. This would be his 4th full length, but his 2nd commercial release. And this is fantastic. This is such a good album. I like this better than Oxymoron, and I actually like this better than Crash Talk, which came out last year. It seems like he's experimenting a tiny bit more on this album, and it works. He's not just sticking to the very, the bland trap, and then make sure your flow changes up every now and then, but don't really worry about what you're saying. He's actually has really good content in this. He keeps it interesting. He keeps you really focused with a scope on what he is saying, because it is very interesting. He's got a decent-ass Kanye feature, too, which to me is hard to find nowadays. Kanye comes in on that part, which has a fantastic chorus, one of the catchiest choruses I've heard in years. Really good album. Schoolboy Q, Blank Face LP. Number 4, another Top Dog. This is the last Top Dog album that I will have on this list this year. Ab-Soul, Do What Thou Wilt, also released on Top Dog, like I said. Ab-Soul is a lesser-known member of Top Dog, a.k.a. Black Hippie, which is his collective he has with, not his, but the collective that consists of Ab-Soul, Schoolboy Q, J-Rock, and Kendrick Lamar. Ab-Soul has always kind of been the outcast, and he kind of shows through in his music. His album Control Systems blew me away with how well of a concept album it was. Every song had its spot. Every verse was placed perfectly. There was a lot of heartbreak. There was a lot of feeling. Everything you wanted from an Absol album was there. It's all here too. I don't like it quite as much as Control System. It doesn't have a terroristic threats or a pineal gland on here. It does have some very good it does have some very good songs that I highly recommend. Off the top of my head, which is hard because I haven't listened to this in a little while. Beat the Case is fantastic. Portishead in the Morning / Her World, very good. Check it out. Absol, Do What Thou Wilt, coming in at number 4. Number 3, we've got a release from Dreamville, but it is not the artist you expect it to be. I placed Boss, Too High to Riot at number 3. Bass, Bass, Boss. I believe it's Boss. And I can show you it. It's right fucking there. I'm not sure what that. I believe it's Boss. Is how J. Cole pronounces it. I didn't know what to expect when I ordered this. It was just another album from Dreamville, and I'm a huge J. Cole fan, and I like to think that J. Cole doesn't try to release bad music. So I bought this, and I was so surprised with how good it was. This album gets a lot of flack. I think part of it is it's almost one-dimensional. Every song sounds very similar to the last one, but I really enjoy the emotion he puts into it. I really enjoy the way he says the things he says. And the choruses are catchy, which is really all you can ask for from a chorus. I mean, even right now, the chorus from Methadone is just playing over and over again in my head. Has been for a couple weeks. Fantastic album. At number 3, Boss, Too High to Riot. Number 2, J. Cole, For Your Eyes Only. I'm a huge J. Cole fan, as I've said in every other video J. Cole has appeared in. This is no different. I do not like this as much as 2014 Forest Hills Drive. I like this better than his debut. This is probably my 3rd favorite J. Cole full length so far. Kind of a concept, essentially he's discussing. For Your Eyes Only is the concept of a dead homie told him that when he died, he was going to make a mixtape for his daughter to play when she gets old enough. And J. Cole's kind of acting that out. Kind of a cool concept, falls apart in a couple spots. There's a couple songs on here that aren't quite to the J. Cole level that I expect them to be, which might just be my expectations problem, not J. Cole's problem in reality. It is a really good album. The song Neighbors has a really cool beat. Immortal just kicks and it sounds so good. For Your Eyes Only, the closing song, is this really cool song about a father's love for his daughter and what he does in order to get her to understand his love after he's passed. Fantastic record. For Your Eyes Only by J. Cole at number 2, which means number 1, much like a lot of people's hip-hop releases lists for 2016, is Danny Brown, Atrocity Exhibition. Man, this album's good. I've loved Danny Brown since I heard him back in 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. This album surprised the fuck out of me. I did not expect it to come out the way it came out. I mean, and he really hit you hard with Downward Spiral, the very first song, where it just sounds like, I believe it's sitar, just kind of playing randomly. And he somehow finds a way to groove on top of this randomly played sitar riff and just flow on top of it. And the whole album is essentially talking about his downward spiral. And every song is exactly placed correctly. It is not a perfect album. A couple of the beats sound a little bit similar to his previous album, which was Old, which I did not like very much. Couple times his voice didn't quite match up like I would have liked it to. The mixing isn't always there. The lyrics in some spots fall apart. Other than that, this album is so good. The song Ain't It Funny has this crazy beat that as soon as it kicks in, it just gets you vibed and hyped and you're ready to go. And it's almost like, it's one of those songs where as soon as you push play, you need to turn the speakers down or else you're going to piss your neighbors off because it's loud. Fucking horns punching you from around the room. And then, of course, Danny's very obnoxious vocals just sitting on top of it, screaming essentially. It's fantastic. If you do not listen to Danny Brown because of his vocals, you need to push past it. I'm telling you, there are so many lyrics there that you are missing out on, and you need to go and listen to them. Okay, I explained this to my buddy who never listened to Danny because of the way his voice sounded. Check it out. You will love it. Number 1, Danny Brown, Atrocity Exhibition. My least favorite album of 2016. My least favorite release. And this was a little tough until I really listened to it, and then I realized it wasn't tough. Mixtape, album, call it whatever the fuck you want. My least favorite is Bobby Tarantino by Logic. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This is so bad. Not as bad as the second Bobby Tarantino mixtape, but this is close. Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad, it's so bad, it's so bad, I can't even comprehend it. I don't know how Logic goes from being one of my favorite mixtape rappers who can make a mixtape that goes from boom bap to trap to boom bap to almost an R&B jazz feel to funk, and he comes out with this just load of garbage. Garbage. The song Flexecution, are you fucking kidding me? I have to look at this because I don't even know the fucking track listing. Flexecution is terrible, by the way. It's the same thing. It's that Flexecution. Fuck you. Horrible. Super Mario World, which could have been this fantastic song, turns out to be bad. Logic has really started disappointing me, which I think I've talked about. One thing that also pisses me off about this, it's a mixtape, right? It says free. You cannot go to DatPiff, which is where I get all my mixtapes. You cannot go to DatPiff and download this. You have to pay for it. This is not a free mixtape. It's a fucking album, and Logic's just trying to pretend he's back in the underground like he used to be. No. No. After this, I was very scared he would never come back to being the old Logic. Fortunately, he has, to a point, come back closer. But this is bad. My least favorite hip-hop release of 2016, Logic, Bobby Tarantino. Miles away from Under Pressure and his mixtapes, the Young Sinatra series. Awards. We're moving through. We're going to go backwards this time. Best feature goes to Earl Sweatshirt on Really Doe, which comes off of Atrocity Exhibition. Listen to the fucking verse. The way he starts it, the way he ends it, and everything in between. It's my favorite verse of 2016. I did not give it my favorite verse of 2016 purely because it's a feature. And in fact, I'm not giving out a best verse of 2016 because of this verse. It's that good. You can even consider it best verse if you want to. It is so fucking good. Earl Sweatshirt kills that song. Really dope. Earl Sweatshirt. My favorite artwork of 2016 goes to Flatbush Zombies with 3001, A Laced Odyssey. There's a lot going on. It's very cartoonish, which matches their music. The All Seeing Eye, I believe, is what they're trying to go for, is here. You've got the Pitbull with the 3 eyes. Fantastic. Really good album. Check it out. My favorite artwork. My favorite song of 2016 goes to everybody's favorite song of 2016. Yes, I'm talking about Redbone by Childish Gambino. What a fantastic song. The beat is perfect. His singing on top of it just like, and it just flows, and it just kind of like, it gets you in the groove, but at the same time you're relaxed, which is really difficult to do. Fantastic. Favorite song of 2016, Redbone, Childish Gambino. My favorite beat is off of Ain't It Funny, or is off of Atrocity Exhibition also, and it is the Ain't It Funny beat. The obnoxious, loud, horns beat. Yes, it is so obnoxious, it is so loud, but it works so perfectly with Danny's vocals on top of it that the beat bumps and hits, and I love it, and it's my favorite beat, and I will argue till the death. My favorite hook was a tie. I just recently decided to give it to the song The Void off of the Cornerstone of the Corner Store by Vinnie Paz, featuring Eamon. Yes, Eamon, old school 90s R&B singer. Got this fantastic fucking hook on here. His voice just carries, and it's uplifting. Not the content, obviously, but the way he sings it, the way he presents it is so good. It's so fantastic. It's hard not to love it. So my favorite hook of 2016 is Eamon on The Void off of the Cornerstone of the Corner Store by Vinnie Paz. As I said, my favorite verse goes to Earl Sweatshirt on Really Dough, even though it's a feature. There's nothing that even tops it as far as a verse goes. Albums I would like to get my hands on. Mick Jenkins, The Healing Component, which is Mick Jenkins is a New York rapper. That's his debut album. His mixtapes were really good and impressed me. I've been wanting to listen to his albums. The Game with 1992, which is, I believe, his 8th studio album. Came out after the documentary too. I'm really into The Game, and I really like getting all of his albums because he is a fantastic rapper. ASAP Mob with Cozy Tapes Volume 1. Friends. I didn't even know that existed. I'm going to try to find it. It sounds awesome. King Crooked, Good versus Evil. King Crooked, a.k.a. Crooked Eye from Slaughterhouse. And Run the Jewels with their 3rd self-titled album. Also came out in 2016. I am a big Run the Jewels fan. I would like to get my hands on it. That is my list. Hope you guys liked it. Give me a thumbs up if you did. If you did not, give me a thumbs down. But in the comments down below, tell me why you didn't like it. I'm not going to change the way I record this. I don't have the time, the energy, or the money to do that. Give me your list. Tell me what your top 16 of 16 is. Fuck it. Give me your top 10, your top 5. I don't care. If I'm missing an album on here, most likely I do own the album. I have a fuckload from 2016, 2017, 2018. They're not all going to make the list. So if you hear something or you think of something that isn't on here and you're like, that should be on there, I probably own it. I just didn't fucking like it enough to put it on the list. Or tell me about another album from 2016 that I really need to go check out. I love getting new music. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys liked it. I will see you for the top 17 of 2017. Thanks.